It's my third video of the day. So I'm a fan of pro wrestling, right? And I usually do this. I usually write down some of the fantasy wrestling I like to see or the storylines I like to see, but it doesn't come true because WWE really don't like the fans. So I I wrote this down because I always have good ideas out here. And I used to do this with video games and write storylines for video games. So I'm going to share my idea of my fantasy wrestling of Sasha Banks and Bayley ruling over the women's division for a year. And I'm going to explain the storyline that I got for them, right? So Sasha Banks won the women's Raw title, I think last week. So now Bayley and Sasha Banks is ruling over the women's division in this crisis. This is what my fantasy of them ruling will look like, right? So pretty much I want Stephanie McMahon to turn around and give them power over calling over their own ability to call in matches and give title matches and title shots to people. So pretty much I want them to have an organization where they have people do their dirty work for them when they don't like certain people to get certain title matches. So Stephanie McMahon and Bayley and Sasha Banks, they divide the power up. So if Stephanie McMahon decides that she wants to give a title shot to a face, they are going to have insurance plans to get rid of these faces so they can keep their reign longer and longer. So there's going to be people that join Sasha and Bayley's Inc. or whatever group they called, because I don't watch WWE like that. I glimpse over it. I watch through clips and highlights. I usually watch wrestling on a binge watch basis, or every single wrestling. I like to watch it. It'll take me, like, if I didn't watch a whole bunch of matches or a whole bunch of year content, I can get rid of that year content in like a couple months, or probably in like a month or so, and binge watch it in a little bit, day by day. So, let's see, okay. But I'm still a true wrestling fan. So pretty much they're gonna have a crew of people that's gonna handle, right? Okay. They're gonna have a crew of people that's gonna ensure that they're gonna have a long title reigns. And also they're gonna give these women title matches, because to give them a shot at the title if they help them out. So it's going to be a neutral agreement with Bayley and Sasha coming in this, or their title reign for a whole year. So the first one that's going to join them to protect their reign is Shayna Baszler, which the autocorrect fucked it up and said Nazer. Shayna Baszler is going to join them. Mandy Rose is going to join them. Nikki Cross is going to join them. Dakota Kai, Rachel Rodriguez, what's her name? Vanessa Bourne. Every member gonna have a shot at whatever pay-per-view. Also, after a year, that reign, after pretty much, they're gonna have these people. They're gonna have these chicks protecting their interests with their reigns, and then they're gonna give them title matches at certain pay-per-views, and then they're gonna respect them enough to give them a good shot. But these women are not going to win because they're not going to book. But these are going to be amazing matches between Sasha Banks or Bayley versus these women who in their crew. And they have more respect for them. They have more respect for them to keep them on so they can get another title shot, because Sasha and Bayley is ruling over the women's division. So after a year, they start a feud with each other. And this feud is so vicious that every time they see each other, they just destroy things. In the men's title matches, you see Bayley comes out and say stuff about Sasha Banks and come out and be like, hey, Sasha, I want you out here right now. They start fighting in the middle of matches, and then they go start fighting in the locker room. And at some point, it's gonna get so intense where they're gonna start hitting each other real hard, and where we gonna see at the first time in WWE, these women draw blood. And this is gonna be a bold move to keep ratings back for other people like real true wrestling fans, but they can do it on another show where they just fighting each other, and then they just draw blood. One of them draw blood and they just hate each other. So the whole room, the whole locker room is gonna be sat down and saying that we gotta fix. Stephanie McMahon gonna get down and say, after they title reign, after they ruled over the title and they kept they title reign, after they broke up, they're vicious. They're going after each other. And they're hurting other wrestlers in the middle because they don't want to wrestle other people. They want to wrestle each other. And they want to keep doing it forever. So what's going to happen is Stephanie McMahon is going to book matches, 3 certain matches, to get this all out so they can break apart. Or so they can finally squash the feud for now. So that one feud is going to be a last woman standing match and a first blood match and a 2 out of 3 falls. My fault. 2 out of 3 falls match. Once that's over, the whole locker room is going to make sure that these women are separate and they're not in the same room, and they're going to have to be under contract because it's going to get so bad after they do this, they're going to just wreck each other. This is going to be one of the best feuds in the WWE women's division. And it's going to be so bad that Stephanie McMahon going to make a contract for them to never engage with each other and don't get engaged with each other at all. Also, they going to separate them and send them home. And then they're going to sit the women around and say, I want y'all to make sure that y'all keep Sasha and Bayley separated, and I want you to keep them occupied and give them your best, because we don't want them to start a war with each other and destroy this women's division, or we don't want them to join up together and rain fire on this division again. And this will make both Sasha and Bayley the top runners in the whole entire company. So that's my wrestling fantasy. That's my wrestling fantasy storyline for Sasha and Bayley. You know, you're going to see it in an in-depth way that I, kind of make up storylines and shit like that. But I might do videos like this more often, come up with some ideas and stuff like that. I might, make some videos about my dream laws that I might dream laws that I want to come true, dealing with black people and stuff. So if y'all want to see that, of like my fantasy laws or my fantasy world or whatever, then drop, give me like 10 likes on this video or whatever, and I'll probably move into that where I you'll hear my opinion on the kind of laws that I came up with, so I can try to make the world better or whatever, because I come up with like certain laws and stuff like that too. So yeah, that's about it, man. Wait. Oh yeah, and they recruit some women from the UK division too.